his training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
Joe Rogan recently gave his take on Terence Crawford's intense training ahead of the big fight with Canelo Alvarez. He praised Crawford's rare ability to switch stances and adjust his style mid-fight, skills he believes could help Crawford handle Canelo's power and ring experience, even with the size difference. However, Rogan also raised a serious concern. Crawford will need enough size and strength to absorb Canelo's heavy punches. Without that, he warned, there's a real risk that Canelo could overpower him in the ring.
Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's going to fight Canelo. Oh, man. I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Joe Rogan isn't holding back when it comes to who he's backing in the upcoming fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience with guest Jim Lampley, Rogan was asked who he thinks will win, and he answered without a pause, Crawford. He went on to say he's a huge fan of Crawford, calling him the best switch hitter since boxing legend Marvin Hagler. Rogan also believes Canelo may be starting to slow down. What really stands out to him about Crawford is his sharp footwork, ability to adjust in the ring, and smart strategy, even though he admits Canelo's size and power are major threats.
Which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrog. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrimov fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152, because he knew he would be drained.
Was it 52 or 54?
Joe Rogan also had a word of caution for Terence Crawford. He warned that stepping into the ring with Canelo Alvarez isn't something to take lightly, especially considering Canelo's size and punching power. Still, Rogan made it clear he'll be watching, calling it one of the biggest fights in boxing today. During the same podcast, Rogan even shifted gears briefly, talking about cartel mule runners while analyzing the fight, mixing in some unexpected cultural commentary with his fight breakdown.
When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can too.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Terence Crawford looked back at his 2023 fight with Errol Spence Jr. He shared how careful, focused preparation made all the difference. Crawford told Rogan, "Everything you see on fight night, we practiced over and over again." He credits that repeated training for his smooth performance in the ring. Crawford also talked about the size difference with Canelo. He said Canelo might be bigger, but that doesn't always mean stronger.
Actually practicing it, that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger, because at first when I go southpaw, it was only, my right. And then when my hand got messed up, just started working on the left, and it started getting stronger and stronger, and I started getting more accurate, because at first just throw it just to be throwing it, and then it just got to a point where my left was actually way stronger than my right.